Andor, Gilroy, 3 a night. Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Remotion Review, Mr. Back at it again. Say a series that just came back around. Andor, season 2. They just dropped episodes 1 through 3. I guess how they doing it, they're gonna drop 3 episodes every Tuesday, which is kind of crazy, but I kind of understand the madness behind it in my own sense. Of course, they ain't gonna tell us why they're doing it that way, but we definitely have our own speculations. And after watching all 3 episodes, I definitely understand. Because Tony Gilroy, the way he builds up his episodes, he builds them up on a 3-tier arc. Where first episode is, well, since it's the first opener, he gave us some excitement, but then throughout the duration of the rest of the episode, it was kind of a dialogue heavy, slow burner. Next up, second episode, mostly dialogue heavy, a little excitement, but then third episode, he dropped the anchor. There was a turning peak moment. Every single time Tony Gilroy does this, when he writes these Andor series, he pivots. On that third episode, he gives you something. He gives you a little action. But you know already behind the magic, because season 1 of Andor was a masterpiece. A lot of people didn't like it. They didn't like it because of the continuity. They didn't like it because it didn't feel Star Wars. It still is Star Wars. Other than that, the acting is superb. The directing, the visuals. Oh man, this dude knows how to give you a visual. His visuals in these shows is just, it's chef's kiss, bro. It's chef's kiss. It's just the dynamic, the wide range panning of sequences, scenes. It's like almost like you're watching a screensaver within a TV show. Every episode feels like a movie. Like I said, I'm not spoiling anything. The show is dialogue heavy, super dialogue heavy. I'm not gonna lie, I was already a little tired, so I dozed off a little bit on the first episode in the middle of it. At the end of it, the way it ended, I was like, at first I was gonna say I'm gonna do a review on each episode. 1, review. 2, review. 3, review. I guess based on the way that he
writes, when he writes,
he has these teasers that build up to a climax. I'd rather watch, since they're all dropping 3 on one night, I'm like, I might as well watch all 3 and do a review of all 3. Episode 1 kicks off with action. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's a, what do you call them? It's a dogfight. That's the term, dogfight. 2 fighter pilots in the air, get going at it. It's a dogfight. So it's a nice sequence. It has a Star Wars feel before it divert, as Tony Gilroy will do. He will divert and make his own. You kind of get reacquainted with the characters of season 1, setting up the tone. The pacing, like I said, it's dialogue heavy. What's happening right now? Certain little things happen, they take off, but the show hasn't really set its theme yet. That's one of the criticisms, I guess. But it's not really a bad one, because I know how this dude works. As long as he doesn't deviate away from what he did in the first season. You know, he sets a present for what's happening right now without you really knowing what the theme is. But at the same time, we already know what the theme is, because this is a prequel before Rogue One. We know what happens there. We know what happens. So without spoiling anything, you already know the main character is gonna make it to Rogue One at least. But you don't know who else is there. We got all these other extra characters, so we gotta find out what happens to these extra characters. And so that's the beauty of the story that he could tell within this space of time. So that's what we're watching right now. So like I said, episode 1 panned out. It left on a small exciting moment of something happening, but at the same time, the theme of the show has not been set. Moving on to episode 2. Episode 2 kicks off where episode 1 left off. It's showing certain dynamics, but this whole episode is it's not a filler, but it's filled up with a lot of dialogue. It's setting up what some of the characters are going through. You know, at this time, we're dealing with the rebels. We're dealing with their allies, and we're dealing with how they have to maintain their fake allegiance to the kid's gonna kill me. I gotta get it. I gotta look it up because the Empire. Why did my mind slip? Yes, you're also dealing with the Empire. And empires, you know, empires running things. They run on the boat and they making people walk the plank if you ain't down with the empire. So the empire, they running checks on people. They going to different planets. They taking tours. They got their people and they checking everything. They checking for everybody, making sure everybody is legit based on how they see fit. Based on how they see fit, the things should run. So that's what the empire is doing. Empire being the empire. I don't want to say the word fascist, but that's the only word that could come to my mind. If you ain't down with the empire, then you gotta go. The rebels and the Jedi are always being hunted. So if you smell like a rebel, they gonna get you. If you're on certain planets and you're not supposed to be there, they gonna get you. So that's where we're at on episode 2. You're dealing with certain people, and it almost feels like it's dealing with present day events. When it comes to immigration, they're using words like visa. I mean, that's not really Star Wars spoken, but you get the gist of it. Yeah, certain terminology, it's like, I guess that's Tony Gilroy's thing, where he's like, I'm gonna use my own jargon, which is modern day jargon. That's kind of a turnoff for some deep, diehard Star Wars fans. That he's not really using all the proper jargon on his pieces. Same time, I'm looking past that. I'm like, can the dude tell a good story at least? Because we need something good from Star Wars. We need something concrete from Star Wars that can hold up. And we look at it like, okay, at least that was good. It wasn't really exactly continuity-wise cohesive, but it was still good. So that's kind of how the second episode plays out. Moving on to episode number 3. Now, in episode 3, certain things come to a head, certain heads that are bumping, make conclusions, certain dynamics take place, information is found out, and there's a turning point where a decision must be made. It's like almost basically, okay, we gotta get out of here before this pops off. And if this pops off and we're here, we done. So it's about avoiding that in episode 3. There's a situation where somebody became privy to some knowledge. Spoiler, he is rushing to deal with that, whoever that he is. I'm not saying who, not spoiling it at all. How that ends, like I said, so yeah, the leading writer on this show, he likes to, like I said, he likes to do things his way. So he leads up to a point. He feeds you these moments. It's almost like the ones they love making, but hey, love making. Dude's doing a little foreplay before he gets to the, kids might be watching this, that part. Before things kick into gear and really go and happen. So yeah, so like I said, he does that and he builds that up. He's the way the guy, he's working with space and form. He's working with space. He's working within a cavity because we already know where the end point is and where it meets. So he's also got to do so much to get to that point. So I will be honest, these episodes weren't my favorite, but I'm glad the show is back. I'm glad he's packing it. I already have a taste of how he directs and how he writes, so I know where this show is leading. I know where it's going. I know what direction he's aiming for. I know he's gonna give us some good fighting along the way. So like I said, the first episode has some great, the first episode gave you a taste of what he is capable of. Second episode, not so much. Third episode also gave you another taste of what he is capable of and what he can bring to the table with Star Wars. It's like, okay, this dude knows what he's doing. He's done his diligence. This show's got my attention. I'm already excited to go for next week and see what else we can divvy into. If this is anything like first season, it's gonna be some emotional roller coasters. It's gonna be some ups and downs. It's gonna be some climactic build-ups to certain events. Like Tony likes to deviate away from the main focus point for a little while. You'll be like, what are we doing here? Why are we here? I'm not even going, doesn't seem like this should be that important. But it's a thematic element that's happening and it pays off, or at least it plays out. And you're like, okay, maybe I don't understand what he did there, but at least it was entertaining and it bought some time. I said, let him go! So I appreciate that from his writing and directing form. Every director, every writer is an artist You just gotta see what they wrote at the end of the day on the canvas, which is the screen. Let's just see what this cooks up. Let's just see what it brings. All right, y'all? All right, make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will catch y'all later. Peace out.